Very good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I am Aishwarya Kapoor with you, and here are the top stories that we are tracking for you this morning. Long battle against coronavirus begins with the Janta curfew. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges people to follow guidelines of central and state governments, appeals to people to stay at homes in areas with lockdown. President, Vice President and Prime Minister lead the country in thanking people working on the front lines to prevent infection. Complete lockdown in 82 districts affected by coronavirus across the country. Only emergency services to remain open. All passenger trains, metro services and interstate bus services across the country shut till 31st of March. Lockdown in many states and union territories including Delhi, Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, Punjab, Chandigarh and 16 districts of Uttar Pradesh. Death toll from coronavirus across the world exceeds 14,000. Italy announces 651 dead in one day. 394 dead in Spain. Toll crosses 400 in the United States. Several countries enforce total lockdown to prevent spread of the deadly virus. Bangladesh pledges $1.5 million to the SARC COVID-19 fund. Parliament proceedings to begin at 2 p.m. today. Many important bills, including Finance Bill 2020, listed for business in the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha to continue discussion on the working of the Ministry of Law and Justice. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu calls for meeting of all party leaders in the upper house today. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi condemns the Maoist attack in Chhattisgarh's Sukma that killed 17 soldiers. Says country will not forget the heroes who have made the supreme sacrifice. Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also paid tributes to the martyrs. After a successful 14-hour-long Janta curfew, the centre and state governments decided to impose a lockdown in 82 districts across the country, where coronavirus cases have been reported. It has also decided to suspend interstate bus services till 31st of March. All passenger trains also remain suspended till 31st of March. The decisions have been taken at a high-level meeting attended by chief secretaries of all states and the cabinet secretary and the principal secretary to the Prime Minister via video conferencing. In the meeting, the rising number of cases of coronavirus were discussed. Joint Secretary in the Health Ministry, Love Agarwal, said that decisions have been taken to contain the spread of the virus.
हमने जो स्टेट के साथ डिस्कस किया, जो स्टेट आदेश जारी करेंगे वो होगा कि इसेंशियल सर्विसेज के अलावा सारी सर्विसेज स्थगित की जाएं। तो वो स्टेट लेवल पर डिसीजन लिया जाएगा। और इसेंशियल सर्विसेज जैसे कि आप समझते हैं कि इसेंशियल सर्विस में फायर सर्विसेज, मेडिकल सर्विसेज, ग्रॉसरी शॉप्स, फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स, मिल्क, तो वो स्टेट लेवल पर स्पेसिफिक डिसीजन इशू किए जाएंगे। बट हमारा क्लियर फोकस है कि वायरस का चेन ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन को कैसे ब्रेक किया जाए, उसके लिए वी वांट टू कंट्रोल द मूवमेंट ऑफ पीपल।
In Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has announced a lockdown in 15 districts in the state in the first phase till Wednesday. He said that the lockdown may be extended further if needed.
हर धार्मिक स्थल के बाहर हम लोगों ने बड़े बड़े होर्डिंग्स, पोस्टर आदि चस्पा कर दिए हैं। लोग उस सावधानी को देखें। दिहाड़ी मजदूरों के लिए, श्रमिकों के लिए, डेली ठेला, खोमचा, रेहड़ी, रिक्शा लगाने वालों के लिए, अन्य उन लोगों के लिए जिनके पास चाहे वो मनरेगा के मजदूर हों, अंत्योदय के कार्ड धारक हों, उन सब के लिए भी राहत पैकेज की घोषणा प्रदेश सरकार पहले से कर चुकी है। प्रदेश के अंदर जो सबसे अधिक प्रभावित जनपद हैं, पहले चरण में, जैसे आज जनता कर्फ्यू का कार्यक्रम प्रदेश के अंदर आज सफलतापूर्वक आम जन ने सहभागिता के साथ इसको आगे बढ़ाया है, यानी ये कार्यक्रम हमारा कंटिन्यू चलेगा। और 15 जनपद पहले चरण में, जहां पर कोरोना वायरस से कोई पीड़ित प्रभावित है या उन्हें आइसोलेट करने के लिए कहीं रखा गया है, ऐसे 15 जिले पहले चरण में पूरी तरह लॉकडाउन करने की कार्रवाई प्रदेश सरकार आगे बढ़ाने जा रही है।
A complete lockdown has been announced for all the 38 districts in Bihar till 31st of March. The decision was taken by Chief Minister Nitish Kumar after a high-level meeting with the officials on Sunday. In the state, 114 people are under observation, out of which 110 have tested negative. In Karnataka, 9 districts have been placed in the lockdown mode till 31st of March. Public transport services have been suspended across the state. Meanwhile, Telangana has announced a shutdown of all services barring essential services till 31st of March. All public and private transport services will remain suspended during this period. And the West Bengal government has also announced that several areas of the state, including Kolkata, will be put under lockdown till 31st of March. Essential services will be exempted, however, from the lockdown. Punjab Chief Minister has also announced a lockdown of all non-essential services and businesses till 31st of March, and during this period, health, electricity, emergency services, groceries, etc. will remain available. And in Maharashtra, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray announced a near total lockdown of the state from Sunday midnight till 31st of March. Besides, the suburban train services on Central Railway, Western Railway, Mumbai Metro, Monorail, the best public buses, private buses, auto rickshaws, taxis will be off the roads till the month end. And the Delhi government has also ordered all businesses to pull down their shutters and private transport operators to stay off the roads in a full lockdown of the national capital amid the coronavirus pandemic. The lockdown will keep buses, cabs, autos and rickshaws off the road. Only 25% of buses of the DTC will operate to aid people in essential services. The borders will be sealed and only those people who are in a list of what is considered essential services will be allowed to move freely. Delhi Chief Minister Kejriwal announced a lockdown of the national capital on Sunday evening, but banks, ATMs, telecom, petrol pumps and cooking gases would be available. Delhi Metro will remain shut till 31st of March. However, the government has said that it will ensure essential items are available across Delhi and has asked people to guard against panic buying.
इस लॉकडाउन के तहत कोई भी पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट सर्विस अलाउ नहीं की जाएगी। इसमें प्राइवेट बसें, टैक्सी, ऑटो रिक्शा, रिक्शा, ई रिक्शा ये अलाउ नहीं की जाएंगी, ये बंद होंगी। डीटीसी की बसें 25% चलेंगी और वो इसलिए ताकि जो एसेंशियल सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करने वाले लोग हैं दिल्ली के अंदर वो अपने अपने गंतव्य स्थान पे जा सकें। दिल्ली के सारे शॉप्स, बाज़ार, कॉमर्शियल इस्टेब्लिशमेंट, फैक्ट्री, वर्कशॉप, ऑफिस, गोडाउन, वीकली बाज़ार ये सब बंद रहेंगे। दिल्ली से सटे हुए सारे स्टेट्स के साथ जो दिल्ली के बॉर्डर्स हैं ये बॉर्डर्स सील कर दिए जाएंगे एक्सेप्ट जो एसेंशियल आइटम्स आने हैं। मान लीजिए पड़ोसी राज्य से दूध आ रहा है, सब्जियां आ रही हैं, खाने पीने का सामान आ रहा है, जो एसेंशियल आइटम्स हैं केवल वो अलाउ किए जाएंगे, बाकी बॉर्डर्स सील कर दिए जा रहे हैं। इंटरस्टेट बसेस, ट्रेन्स और मेट्रो सर्विसेज ये भी सस्पेंड की जा रही हैं। सभी डोमेस्टिक और इंटरनेशनल फ्लाइट्स दिल्ली में जो आ रही हैं वो सारी सस्पेंड की जा रही हैं। कंस्ट्रक्शन एक्टिविटी सारी दिल्ली के अंदर बंद की जा रही है। जितने रिलीजियस प्लेसेस हैं किसी भी धर्म के हों वो सारे बंद किए जा रहे हैं और सभी लोगों से ये निवेदन है कि वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अपने घर में रहें। पूरी दुनिया से जो हमें सीखने को मिला वो यही कि जितना आप कम से कम बाहर निकलेंगे, जितना आप कम से कम दुनिया के संपर्क में आएंगे, उतना हम अपने आप को बचा सकते हैं।
And India observed the 14-hour Janta curfew on Sunday, an unprecedented nationwide shutdown to tackle the coronavirus challenge. Millions of people across the country stayed indoors from 7 in the morning till 9 p.m. on Sunday in response to Prime Minister Modi's appeal for Janta curfew to encourage social distancing. Even in major cities, streets wore a deserted look with hardly any vehicles as public transport services were also largely curtailed or suspended. The markets were shut, barring essential services. Passenger trains, metros in most states remained suspended. And Prime Minister Modi thanked the people for making Janta curfew a success. He said that it is the beginning of a long fight against coronavirus. He said that nation has demonstrated its capacity to tackle a big challenge. He also urged people to maintain a social distancing and continue with the lockdown. At 5 p.m. on Sunday, India thanked the heroes of the fight against coronavirus in a unique way. People across the country came out on their balconies, terraces and lawns to show their gratitude to the frontliners, including medical, paramedical staff, those providing essential services, including the media persons, with claps, bells, conch shells, plates, etc.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो एक कॉल दी थी कि जनता कर्फ्यू हो, उसके तहत मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि समाज के हर वर्ग ने अपना सहयोग देते हुए उसको एक सक्सेसफुल इवेंट बनाया है। उसको उस इवेंट के रूप में प्रस्तुत किया है कि आज देश हर तरह से किसी भी चुनौती का सामना करने के लिए तैयार है।
And President Ramnath Kovind and his wife also demonstrated their gratitude to the frontliners. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also joined the nation in saluting the doctors, paramedical staff and others providing essential services in combating the COVID-19 challenge. Then in a Twitter message, he also appealed to the people to maintain social distancing and adopt other preventive measures as well. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla also greeted the people for showing resolve and restraint during the Janta curfew. He said that this battle can be won by staying alert and cautious and by protecting ourselves and others. Union Ministers Rajnath Singh, Prakash Javadekar, Dharmendra Pradhan, Nirmala Sitharaman and BJP Chief JP Nadda also expressed their gratitude by clapping at their houses. Talking about the worldwide situation now, COVID-19 has claimed over 14,000 lives worldwide so far, with over 292,000 confirmed cases in 192 countries around the world. And according to the WHO, 26,000 new COVID-19 positive cases were confirmed in the last 24 hours, out of which 1,600 people died. The death toll from the coronavirus pandemic continued its relentless rise in Europe on Sunday, with Italy announcing 651 dead in one day, bringing its total to 5,476. And governments around the world have rolled out tougher measures to halt this rapid spread of the deadly virus after the virus claimed 100 lives in the past 24 hours. Donald Trump ordered deployment of emergency medical stations with a capacity of 4,000 hospital beds to coronavirus hotspots. And Britain has also shut all public places, including restaurants, bars, movie theatres and gyms. COVID-19 infections in the UK have increased to over 5,600 with 177 deaths. Meanwhile, China's National Health Commission said that there were 39 new cases, all of them imported, and 5 additional deaths as of yesterday. Meanwhile, the International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach on Sunday said that the 2020 Tokyo Olympics would not be cancelled, but that a postponement was an option as the world grapples with the coronavirus pandemic. This after concerns were raised over the pandemic from various quarters, including governments and also athletes. Canada Olympic Committee announced on Sunday that the country will not be sending its athletes if the games take place as per schedule in 2020. And those were all the news related to coronavirus epidemic. And we'll take a very short break. Up next, all the updates and other stories, including everything on what is going to happen in Parliament today. Stay tuned. Now an update on the budget session of Parliament. Both houses of Parliament will meet at 2 p.m. today. The decision was taken on Friday after several members expressed their inability to reach the national capital from their respective constituencies in the morning following the relocation of flights and the cancel of trains due to COVID-19 outbreak. The question hour in both houses of Parliament will remain suspended today. The Rajya Sabha is slated to take up a number of bills. These include the Jammu and Kashmir Appropriation Bill 2020, the Jammu and Kashmir Appropriation number 2, number 3 and number 4 bills 2020 for consideration and return. The House will also take up the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Bill 2020 and the Aircraft Amendment Bill 2020 for consideration and passing. The Pesticide Management Bill 2020 is also listed for introduction in the House. Also listed for withdrawal are the Private Detective Agencies Regulation Bill 2007 and the Pesticides Management Bill 2008. And Lok Sabha is scheduled to take up 4 key bills for consideration and passing. These include the Finance Bill 2020 to be moved by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. The bill gives effect to the financial proposals of the government for the current financial year 2020-2021. Sitharaman will also move the Companies Amendment Bill 2020 for consideration and passing, which aims to further amend the Companies Act 2013. Also, the Banking Regulation Amendment Bill 2020 is listed in the day's agenda for consideration and passing. This bill aims to further amend the Banking Regulation Act 1949 and will be moved by the Finance Minister. And the Major Port Authorities Bill 2020 will be moved by Union Minister Mansukh Mandavia for consideration and passing. The bill aims to provide for regulation, operation and planning of major ports and to vest the administration, control and management of the ports to the boards of major port authorities. Meanwhile, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has called a meeting of all party leaders to take stock of the situation amid the coronavirus pandemic and also the duration of the budget session. Now, reports say that the budget session of Parliament could be curtailed due to COVID-19 challenge. Both houses of Parliament are likely to be adjourned sine die today, 12 days ahead of the original schedule after quickly passing the finance bill. It is noteworthy that more than 10 MPs going into self-quarantine after COVID-19 scare reached Parliament Hall and the standing committee meetings. Panchanan Mishra, our colleague, is now joining us on the phone line for more details. Very good morning, Panchanan. Panchanan, it is going, of course, to be a crucial day because there are a number of bills that are hanging fire in both houses of Parliament, but there are also reports that the budget session could be curtailed. There is a finance bill to be passed, and there are reports that the finance bill 2020 could be quickly passed. Rajya Sabha chairman has also called a meeting of all party leaders. What more can you tell us?
Exactly, Aishwarya, you are right. There are many legislations in front of Parliament, but the major bill is the finance bill, because major discussions on the finance-related issue has been over. Demand for grants, the discussions were there in Lok Sabha, and finally today the finance bill is going to be taken, and we are learning that there will be a very brief discussion on it, and it may be sent to Rajya Sabha today itself. That's why the COVID-19 is a major issue before the entire country, so that the Parliament session, which is scheduled up to 3rd of April, may be curtailed. So important legislations were there, but the government is now focusing on this finance bill, which is important, which is necessary to be passed by the Lok Sabha, and then it's usually sent to Rajya Sabha, and it returns to Lok Sabha also. So the pro leaders meeting will be there as Chairman Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu has called. An important decision may be taken.
All right. Thank you so much, Panchanan, for all those updates there. And in some other news, in one of the deadliest attacks on police forces in the country, 17 police security personnel were killed in a Maoist ambush in Chhattisgarh's Sukma district on Saturday afternoon. Around 350 Maoists, including women cadres, were also there in the attack. They opened fire on a police patrol team comprising 100 personnel on Saturday. The operation lasted 5 hours and the bodies of 17 policemen could be retrieved after 14 hours on Sunday. 15 other security personnel are also injured. And in a tweet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid a tribute to the 17 security personnel and said that the valor of the brave hearts will never be forgotten. And Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Home Minister Amit Shah also condoled the death of 17 security personnel. And with that, we end this bulletin of Breakfast News. We leave you with the weather updates from across the country. Thanks so much for watching.